Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Walt Disney Imagineering, Vice President and Executive Producer Kathy Mangum, and Senior Concept Writer-Director Kevin Rafferty.
Carsland!
Good morning, everyone. We are so thrilled to be able to stand here and give you not just a preview of Carsland, but this beautiful, beautiful view into it. And I just want to point out, look how small those guys are up on those Cadillac
Don't they look
fins.
real? Yeah.
It is just the scale of this project, the scale of Carsland is just so incredible, and it is really going to immerse our guests into the world of Cars, into the movie of Cars. Mm-hmm. We're building Radiator Springs, a town of Radiator Springs, and we've got 3 attractions and merchandise and food, and we're going to take you through the whole thing. It's really going to, we're just so excited. So next year, 2012. So this is a beautiful view. One thing we should point out is it's one of the entrances into Carsland. You're actually sitting on what will be walkway from Pacific Wharf into Carsland, but our main entrance is just a few feet down that way to the east, and that is right across from the Blue Sky Cellar, and that is going to be Route 66 going into the town of Radiator Springs, which is what this rendering shows right now. Mm-hmm. So what we thought we'd do today is sort of walk you down the street, tell you what's going to be in each facility and what each attraction is going to be like, and then take you on a real tour of it. Since we can't go walk it, we're going to do it virtually with a video. So let's get started. Just like in the movie, just like in the real Radiator Springs, the outskirts of town is where Mater lives, in Mater's Junkyard. And we're no different. Outside, we will have Mater's Junkyard Jamboree, which is going to, think of it as like a giant square dance where our guests will be pulled around by these really cute baby tractors in these little trailers, and Mater is singing songs the entire time. Yeah,
we're writing brand new songs for Mater to sing. And just so you know, we did a little mock-up of this arrangement at Imagineering. We had a tractor, and we hooked up a little trailer to it, and we did a little course that's going to take place in Mater's Junkyard Jamboree. And as Mater would say, it's going to be fun.
It's a lot of fun. And here's our little baby tractor and the trailer. This is an actual ride vehicle that we have built and painted up. So you can just see how appealing these guys are going to be out there dancing around. Right across the street from Mater's Junkyard Jamboree is Fillmore's Taste In. And Fillmore, you know, he's all natural. Yeah. He's a natural guy. So he's going to be serving fruit and juices and nuts. This is a snack food location, but sort of more natural foods. Mm-hmm. And then he's right next door to his kind of cranky neighbor, Sarge, at Sarge's Surplus Hut. So we'll have a Quonset hut out there.
A little more manicured than Fillmore.
Slightly more manicured. Little bit down the way is the Cozy Cones, Sally's Cozy Cones. Now, Sally is all about cones. So we've got 5 cones. In the movie, those cones actually serve as motel rooms. In this case, we're going to serve snack food out of each cone. Snack food such as?
Such as pop cone, chili cone, carne, and?
Frozen cone concoction.
Yeah.
So we got a million of them, but we can only do 5.
Well, Sally's having this great food conanza today, so you just happen to be here on the right day.
You'll sit under cone-shaped umbrellas outside and eat your cone food. And then right next door to that is Radiator Springs Curio Shop, a really beautiful little shop that will sell pins and small merchandise, small items. And this is obviously taken from the movie, but we are really propping it out based on some of the Route 66 trips that we took for these wonderful curio shops that you see along the way in Hackberry, Arizona, or Tucumcari, New Mexico.
We had this our core creative team went on this Route 66 road trip for research, and we went into all the curio shops and went off the beaten path and met all the people and ate all the food along the way.
Yeah, we had
too much pie, but we got to go inside the curio shops along the way. And the great thing about that is in the film, you never really got to go into these places. You didn't get to go into Flo's V8 Cafe and the Curio Shop, but you will be able to step into these places and learn a little bit more about the characters, your favorite characters from the film.
So speaking of food, because we did eat a lot of it on Route 66, we've got Flo's V8 Cafe. Wonderful food that has been inspired by what you get on Route 66. A lot of comfort food, a lot of macaroni and cheese, really savory sandwiches, and one thing that we fell in love with was pie, a lot of pie.
And inside of Flo's, we get to learn the backstory of Flo when she was part of the Motorama Girls, the touring group out of Detroit. And so we get to see a lot of her gold records and the posters from their tours. And also as part of that, Doc's Museum is going to pay tribute to Doc Hudson, Fabulous 51 Hornet, and you'll be able to see all his backstory within the dining area of Flo's V8.
Lots and lots of detail in here. We're having so much fun with it. And then right next door to Flo's is Ramon's House of Body Art. Now, Ramon in the shop, or in the movie, you know, he can paint, he can style, he can really paint you up. So Ramon's House of Body Art is going to be beautifully done, and it's a merchandise location for us for Carsland product. And across from Ramon's is our second attraction. We have 3 attractions in the land, Mater's Junkyard Jamboree, and in the back of Luigi's Casa de la Tires will be housed Luigi's Flying Tires. So you will pass through Luigi's showroom where all of his Fettuccine brand tires will be beautifully displayed, and you'll walk out into the back and you'll go into his tire yard, and you will be able to experience Luigi's Flying Tires.
Well, Luigi and Guido will hook up their air compressor, because they're in the tire business, and they will hook up the air compressor to the storage yard out back, and as they do that, you will literally lift up off the ground and float on air.
You're like flying on air.
Like flying on air.
Now, we do have Mike up on the Tower of Terror balcony with a live video to take us into the land. Everyone, hey, Mike, can you see us?
Hey, Mike.
Everybody wave to Mike. He's over to the east. Hey, Mike. So, Mike, can you take us into the land? Let's start with the cozy cones. He will pull back. You don't get more updated than this. There they are. So we've got 3 cones framed out. Sally will have her office in front. So you'll be able to walk up to these cones, order your food, and then sit and enjoy in this beautiful courtyard that's being formed by the cones. So now let's just pan a little bit over to the, yep, perfect. There's it's the Radiator Springs Curio shop. You can see, hopefully in the sun, it's all covered in brick, sort of aged brick, and it is just a gorgeous little shop. And then if you tilt up, Mike, there we go. There's a frame for Flo's V8 Cafe, so that one day soon will look like a giant air filter. One thing about Carsland, and not just the buildings, but also in the rock, you might start to see some hints at car shapes like hood ornaments, wheel wells, grills, and the architecture is the same way. So this is a great big air filter one of these days. Keep on going, Mike, and we'll look at, there's Luigi's Flying Tires, Luigi's Casa de la Tires building. You can see the tire finials on the top, all out of plaster. And then back behind that is the play floor. And if we just tilt up a little bit, you can see that sort of scooped shape. That is Ramon's House of Body Art buildings. That's our merchandise location. This little Radiator Springs downtown is the scale is just so wonderful. We were walking through it last night, and right here we're at the 4 corners, or where all the commerce is happening. We'll have the telephone poles lining the street. We'll have the blinking light, stoplight overhead that's always on yellow.
You are there. You're
and
at
night, it will be all covered in neon, just like it is in the movie. So it is going to be a gorgeous, gorgeous land at night. But we also cannot ignore this giant mountain we've got here, this Ornament Valley that we're building. It's about 6 acres of hand-sculpted rock. That's what those little guys are doing up there, is they're sculpting and painting our rock. So they're real artisans from around the world.
They are. So now we'll take you to Radiator Springs Racers. And I have to say, I've worked on a lot of projects. I'm so excited about it. This is an amazing, it's huge. Out of the 12-acre Carsland that we're building, 6 acres, as Kathy said, encompasses Radiator Springs Racers. It's going to be amazing. And so, Mike, if you can take us down to that view of the wheel well area. You know, we learned in the film, in the bonus material of the DVD, John Lasseter tells a story about Stanley, and Stanley was the founder of Radiator Springs. And yeah, if you can just stop on that shot, that'd be wonderful. And so, as far as the story went, Stanley founded a radiator cap business when he blew his radiator cap and he found the natural spring, nature's coolant. And so, what we got to do as Imagineers is to continue on with that storytelling. We wanted to create a beautiful little shaded, water-filled area where you're going to wait in line to get on this attraction, and we've turned it into Stanley's Oasis. And this is the original settlement of Radiator Springs before the town grew out. And the settlement started with the radiator cap shop, which you'll queue through, and it goes to a service station which Stanley built. And in those days, when you changed oil, you used glass bottles. And so Stanley saved up all the glass bottles, and being the showman he was, as well as a great service technician, he built a bottle house. And so we created a roadside attraction at Route 66. That became so popular, he invented he established the Cozy Caverns Motor Court, which is just inside that wheel well you see on the frame. And so that's where you are going to load onto a 6-passenger car character vehicle and begin this rollicking road trip through the countryside of Ornament Valley. And what's wonderful about that is it's the same, very similar road trip to what Lightning and Sally did in the film, where they go through this great archway and there's a reveal of this beautiful, glorious waterfall coming down, and you get a great view over Carsland before you go inside the rock there, and you have an encounter with your favorite car characters from the film, beginning with Mac and several others. And I'm not going to give away the whole thing. You're going to have to come back and see it. We have lots of fun secrets in that. But one of the great moments is Mike.
Thanks,
I think
Mike.
we're time. Thanks, Mike. I think. Bye, Mike. so the first moment is. Sheriff will come out, you're speeding through the countryside, and he pulls you over and he says, "You're not racing yet. Follow Mater into town and we'll get you ready." Well, here comes Mater, and he does what he does best, is he drives backwards, and you're following him forwards as he's inviting you to do his favorite thing, a little side trip, tractor tipping. But what happens there is you wake up Frank, and Frank chases you into town, and you go to the town of Radiator Springs, where all the residents welcome you. And we have Sally, the mayor, and Lightning welcome you to town. And Lightning will say something like, "You know, it takes more than speed to win a race. You have to have style, ka-chow." So he invites us to either go into Luigi's and have a tire change, go into Ramon's, have a little paint touch-up. From there, we go into where we meet Doc Hudson, who's our crew chief, just like he was with Lightning McQueen in the film. And then we go out to where we see Luigi and Guido at the start of the race with the flag. And this is where we learn we're going to race against another vehicle, another car filled with guests, just like you, just like ourselves. And so Luigi drops the flag, and we head outside, and we did, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, last summer we did a test. Some of you might know this, but we built one of our vehicles, and we put it on a track out here on site and took it around for many, many weeks just to check it out. And, of course, we couldn't do that without riding it. And we rode it, and we can show you firsthand. It is fun. This race is really going to be a good one. So there's our vehicle. Each vehicle will look like it comes from the movie. It's going to look like it lives in the world. It's got a smile on its face and eyes in the windshield. It looks like a giant slot car. It's really a big slot car race. And the G-forces you get as you make these banking turns, and we have a lot of elevation changes, and all the time you're racing another car, it is really, really going to be exciting and fun. We were thrilled with it.
That camelback hump you just saw, it is a blast. And then you go digging around the corner at Willie's Butte there, and you dive down the other side, heading back into the building where we actually have a really wonderful part of Ornament Valley, which is a natural wonder called Taillight Caverns. And Taillight Caverns is not filled with stalagmites and stalagmites. It is filled with stalagmites.
Yeah.
It's filled with stalagmites, which are designed in the style of old 50s style cars. And in that scene, you come back from the race. We're going to create different ride profiles so that you will cross the finish line at different times. So you may get a different one each time you go. But when you come back into Taillight Caverns, you're welcomed back by Lightning and Mater. Well, that sounds like Mater now. Here he comes, one of the residents of Radiator Springs, the one and only Mater!
Coming through! Excuse me! Coming through! Excuse me!
Hey, Mater!
Hey, buddy.
All right, Mater, you've been tipping tractors, and we've been building Carsland.
Well, that sounds like fun, too. Exactly what I was thinking.
And you know, Mater, we can't wait for 2012 when we get to open Carsland. But you know, in the meantime, thanks for dropping by. It's great to see you.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, thanks, Mater.
Everybody say goodbye to Mater.
So we look forward to seeing you again next year when we open up Carsland. Thank you.
Thank you.